Plaintiff Johnny Allison says the defendant is his favorite aunt, and she tried to keep him out of trouble. Johnny claims after he was incarcerated for selling drugs, he turned his life around, and he's suing his aunt for a rent refund, a moving truck, and emotional distress. Defendant Adrienne Williams says Johnny was on the right path until he turned 17, and his hair, speech, and attitude changed. Adrienne believes Johnny is trying to get his life together, and she's countersuing for an eviction bill and emotional distress.
Start with you.
This is my aunt. What was my favorite aunt. Growing up, she was always supportive of me. I was the first child, first nephew, first grandson. So she was always on my case, trying to make sure I grew up to be a presentable adult. And
did you get in any trouble?
Society. Yeah, I got in a little trouble, and she found a gun in my room actually when I was 16, and she threatened to whoop me if I didn't get rid of it. I got rid of it, and I stayed out of trouble a little bit. I got back in a little trouble in 2009. I was incarcerated for selling drugs, and the whole time I was incarcerated, I had time to think about my life, and we actually watched a lot of Judge Mathis in jail. So I kind of I got my life together thinking about my kids. I have 9 of them, and five of them stay with me, and I take care of the other 4 that don't stay with me. And my auntie knows that I take care of my kids. You know, I love them, so it just hurts me to even be here.
Well, I'm not going to come down on you based on your children. You expressed your love and desire to take care of them. And the other part sounds like you've learned some things by watching me. And I hear that from prisoners all the time, folks. They watch me, I guess, because of my journey from jail to judge. And I talk about it, and that's why I talk about it, because it helps change and inspire others. And so I'm glad that it helped change you into a man. Nothing wrong with having 9 children, as long as you are taking care of all of them and you have some semblance of a relationship with them. And it's very hard to do if they're not under one household. So your aunt tried to help you and steer you in the right direction. Where'd you grow up?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, what part?
A neighborhood called Thomasville Heights, so projects.
Right, okay, so you were under a lot of pressure to do wrong, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
That was the case with me and where I grew up, in the housing projects in Detroit. Either you were prey or you're a predator. I didn't want my gym shoes taken every day. I didn't want to get jumped on. I didn't want my jacket to be taken, so I had to be part of the predator crowd. So I understand how that happens. And then the pressure of all of that poverty and stress and all of that, failed to educate, put all that together, and you got a powder keg. In Detroit, 1967 riot was the biggest riot in the country. The underlying cause was extreme poverty and joblessness in the Black community. Just kind of want to get that out there so everyone knows you're not born to be a criminal. There were some circumstances. You say you've changed after serving prison time, and that's what we'd like to hear.
Plaintiff Johnny Allison is suing his aunt, who claims she tried to keep Johnny out of trouble, but he still went to prison.
What do you want to tell me, Auntie?
Well, he's absolutely correct. He was the very first boy. So that meant a lot to our family, a family of girls for many, many years. I tried to help out a lot as he was growing up. We expected a lot out of JD. We call him JDJ. He was doing great. And then we got to a point where I guess around about 17, 18, we wanted to be thugged out. The hair changed, the speech changed. And then we went from there, we went to the jail. And then we had the multiple children by different women. And, you know, my love for him will never change. The disappointment was definitely truly there to be.
You have a father in his life?
He had a father for a while, and then granddaddy took over for a little while. And then, of course, there were other guys, but not the mentorship that I thought that he should have had. However, we did the best we could as women. And the streets taught him the rest.
A lot of times that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times your best is good enough. Sometimes it's other factors that overwhelms your best efforts.
Yes.
All right. And What has happened since that time, sir? Matter of fact, what type of job do you have for 9 children?
I do music.
What did you learn in prison? They taught you music in prison?
No. I went to college.
What skill did you learn in prison?
I didn't learn any skill in prison.
Did they offer courses?
No.
You don't have a skill to take care of those 9 children, and because the job you have, it can end any day, and if you have no skill other than this music, it's rapping.
No, I produce.
R&B?
I'm a producer.
Have you had a hit? Let's just go there.
No, sir.
Thank you. All right. So you know how long you've been doing it?
For about 2 years now.
So I think you might want to be planning to feed your children, because if you haven't had a hit record, you're not, and that's your only source of income, you're not providing for them financially. You don't make money without a hit record. So I don't know what you're talking about or how you're providing for them. Hope it's not in the street, but you're certainly not doing it in the music industry without a hit record. No one makes money, writers, producers, singers, rappers, unless it's a hit. So, go ahead, sir. I would hope you would get a skilled trade, but tell me about the rent and what happened here.
In 2017, me and my auntie discussed subleasing her apartment. At the time, I was staying in St. Louis, and I was trying to move back down to Atlanta to be with my kids, be closer to my kids that stayed in Atlanta. And when I got down there, I paid $800 for the rent for June, and she didn't move out. So she basically backed out on her end of the deal, and I'm suing for the $800 for the rent, the $1,500 for the moving truck, which I had to keep because I had to get I didn't have anywhere to put my stuff.
How long did you keep it?
About 3 weeks.
For $1,500?
Yes.
You
You
didn't know about storage units that charge like $100?
I just didn't put the stuff in storage.
All right. And why didn't she move out? What did she tell you her reason was for not moving?
She didn't have anywhere to go.
Ma'am, what do you say to this?
Well, what I say is, I just totally disagree. We did talk about him moving down to Atlanta. So he asked me how much would I charge for him to move down. I told him $800. And $800 would have taken care of the rent and also would have taken care of a portion of the light bill because at the time I had lost my job.
So you agreed to him? Tell me about the agreement.
The agreement was that he would send $800 and that would eliminate him from having to pay any deposit anywhere from the apartment. He wouldn't have to worry about trying to
Okay,
do lights.
so he said he sent the $800.
Yes, he sent the $800. I paid the rent for June. He arrived 3 days early. He arrived in May. So I didn't say anything about that. This is my nephew. So he comes with the children. He comes with his girlfriend. He comes with also 2 other people.
He must have said something because he had to keep his things in the truck.
Right, no, he didn't, Your Honor. I helped him move the things out of the truck. That's how I know he didn't have to keep the truck. We moved everything from the truck when he moved down from Missouri.
How many days
into the house.
after arriving?
How many days? The same day. The same day the truck pulled up.
You moved the things from the truck into the house? From the truck
into the house, yes.
Plaintiff Johnny Allison is suing his aunt, who claims she tried to keep Johnny out of trouble, but he still went to prison.
Did you all move anything?
We moved beds in.
You moved beds
That's
in?
it. We moved
you say you moved beds?
The beds, yes.
You moved them in?
Yes, but this was...
And you don't think you moved anything in? Those are the most crucial things of living with someone, sir. And so then what happened from there to cause us to get here?
So I waited for him for us to get here. He never signed the lease. Only thing Jay had to do was go with me down to the
and
rent
you would have
office.
been in trouble for abandoning the lease.
That's why
and
I had to
responsible
stay.
for the entire year.
Yes, I had agreed with him that when they came down, I would leave.
Sir, is this true? You didn't sign the lease?
No, sir, I didn't sign a lease
Why?
because she didn't agree to leave. She didn't move out.
She didn't move.
She said she wasn't agreeing to move.
She wouldn't move until you signed the lease, sir, because otherwise she would remain liable.
No,
and
no.
you were there. You were there. You did everything necessary. All you had to do was say, okay, let me sign where it says I'm taking over the lease. Then it's time for her to go. In fact, you could have put her out. You could have put her out and say, okay, this is mine now. Time to go. But you didn't even sign it, so you had no rights because you did not complete your end of the bargain. And emotional distress?
We had get evicted from the apartment, and me and my family were out on the streets for.
You caused all your problems, sir. You caused all your problems by breaking the agreement. You agreed to sign the lease and you did not. So everything that flows from there was your problem. So let's get to your counterclaim, ma'am.
It was $15.14 for the eviction.
What do you
And
mean by that?
The eviction, they charged me.
Who was evicted?
I was evicted because they would not move. He stayed the whole month of July.
Did you?
That is not true. I stayed from June. Well, yes, that is true. June 21st.
All right. You stayed 2 months. Yes, she did all this to you. You stayed 2 months and didn't even pay the woman. So I'm going to grant you that second month that he failed to pay. $800 is your judgment. Your claim is dismissed, sir. You did not meet your end of the bargain. You went all the way there. The bargain was you take over the lease, sign the lease. Then I leave. Nobody's going to leave and be responsible for what you and your 5 kids do. Your claim is dismissed. Judgment for $800 to the counterclaimant.
That's it.
I just want to say, he's my nephew.
We'll finish this when we get to Atlanta.
He's my nephew. He always will be. I love him very much. I hate to have it turn out to be like this.
Not at all. You don't love me at all.
This
you just pull and you pull in Atlanta, we got down there, you know what's going on.